Right, this is going to be an interesting one. It's about internal transformation, what goes on the inside, and Andrew's going to talk about the whole journey from what he's gone through with his transformation, and then how that extends out.
And now he is a breathwork facilitator. So, Andrew,
yeah,
please
take
share.
it away. It's all yours, my friend.
Yeah. So my journey with it has been very much a one of feeling the internal struggle of being a very soft, very gentle man, really, and very, somewhat scared to be in the world in many ways. And then the breath really gave me that chance to inhale life and step forward into this new power and share from that space. So that's really what it's provided for me. It's given me this chance to stand in my power and own that and honor it and walk forward in that way.
How did this transformation feel inside? What were there signals to you that stuff was happening? Oh.
The voice just became clearer, and I used to get like this pounding heart, and my throat would cleanse, and my hands would become clammy, and I'd say words, but they weren't really my words, or I wouldn't think they were my words. And suddenly this being would come through me that I didn't know was in there until that kind of shifted in a way where, what I was saying was more of what I wanted to say, how I was being was more of how I was wanting to be. And little signs like that, where it was just confirmation of how powerful the breath is, really. And
kind of like your true self starting to reveal itself.
I guess it was just the ability to be seen and heard allowed me to drop the kind of masks in many ways. And often it was a time of the anxiety would come when I was thinking about someone else, what they were thinking, how they were feeling, how they were seeing me, and not really with my own self. And the breath is so personal, although it's universal, it's so personal. And as I could then inhale and exhale, a part of my awareness was on the breath, and then it allowed me just to be in life, really.
So was it one particular event in your life that nudged you towards the breath?
Yeah. Where did you pick up the calling to
become
to try breath work? How did you?
It's a really interesting story in many ways, because I kind of was somewhat introduced to breathwork through scuba diving, because one of my biggest passions is scuba diving and the ocean and being able to stay under there and become a fish and become weightless and free. So I spent many years doing that, and that was always one of my favorite parts. And then as I stepped away from that life into like a more holistic life, I was kind of always searching for that connection of breath, and how do I connect in that way without the ocean?
So it already started to call you back then.
Yeah, it was so in me that I didn't really associate it, because there was so many other things. There was corals and fish and students and people and so much stuff, and then it kind of shifted towards like less outward looking and more inward looking. And that's when I was introduced to Kundalini yoga for the first time, and that journey unfolded. And within that journey, I fell in love with the breathwork exercises in that, and it just started to refine itself in a way where I could be like, wow, okay, breathwork is where I want to go. And then Soma Breath entered my life just by a guy kind of coming to our house and sharing this breathwork. We kind of met him for only an hour in our lives, and he transformed my whole life.
Wow.
And from there, I kind of journeyed onwards.
That was a powerful hour then. So what happened on that first session?
Cool, everything. It's maybe a little background of where we were. We were kind of in Guatemala, and it was a very safe space for us. Me and my partner, we journeyed together. So it was a very safe space, and the whole setting was just the perfect sunset night, and it just felt like anything from the mind was gone at that point. So was able to drop in so quickly. and then the music played and the breath come in. It was the moment of recognition of like, wow, okay, this is very powerful as soon as it happened. And then from that moment, it just deepened and deepened, and then felt very grounded and also cosmic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand
Mm.
this cosmic grounding if you never
Mm.
tried breathwork, because the same time you're feeling that, yeah, I'm in my body, I am here and now, but the same time you are connected to some kind of divine universe, cosmic, God, higher self.
It's like the separation dissolves, doesn't it?
Completely, yeah, and the sense of oneness can be felt in a very grounded way, I find.
And then with the breath, by doing it with the breath itself, we're in full charge. Because it can be, I find that breath work can be very similar to psychedelics, plant medicines. But that's like getting on a train and you're not getting off it until it reaches the station. So
Yeah.
there's a feeling of not being in control, that it's not really yours, that it's come from external. And for me, I've had more profound experiences with breath than I have on with any psychedelics, and meaningful experiences as well. And it's so nice to know that it's been self-generated. And I'm carrying it around with me all the time. But anyway, it's your time, Andrew. Sorry.
But it's actually a beautiful thing I find to touch upon as well, because instead of searching for something or searching for the plant medicine or searching for a community or a home or an event that happens, just take a nice deep inhale and exhale, and it can come.
Yeah, absolutely. So from that significant 1 hour in your life, you decided that you want to become a facilitator as well, or it was like you tried few other workshop or something else, and then you said, yeah, or it was like, yeah, that's it, that's my calling.
Yeah, I guess I had some deep sense of knowing that it could be something, but I had that before and it didn't quite transpire that way. So I was trying to kind of hold my excitement down a little bit, and then it just opened up. I did the 21-day awakening journey, and then I did like a few other things that just confirmed that whole process, and within that, because I was a yoga instructor and a diving instructor, I kind of had the experience or the joy of sharing what I love. So there was always that part of me that was looking towards another aspect of life that I could dive like fully into. And yeah, that's when it kind of opened up to become a facilitator and really journey on that path.
And what was that experience like, going through, right now I'm going to become a facilitator? What's the experience like becoming a Soma facilitator?
Yeah, beautiful question actually, and it's one that on two sides really, because when I first become a diving instructor, I realized, or like even when I first learned to drive, I was like, wow, now I learned to drive. Now I passed my test, I learned to drive. When I did scuba diving, it was like, okay, now I'm really learning how to teach. And it was the same for breathwork as well. So I had a little bit of experience going into that, of maybe not running away with the idea that I'm the perfect facilitator and the one that can really hold space in the best way, but it was more of a gentle guidance in that, and really just engaging in the material, in the music, in preparation for that. And really, for me at that point, it was still the voice was still tricky to come through, especially being seen and being heard. It felt like there was still something here. So for me, it was really just to project my voice, lift my spine, drop my shoulders, and just relax into that facilitator that was there. And it's a beautiful community to be a part of. There's a lot of communication. There's a lot of check-ins around how's it going and how are we sharing, where are you sharing, what music are you sharing. There's all these different facets that come with it. So it's a beautiful community to be a part of as well.
So then I guess that leads to So it's like your hero's journey has done its first loop.
And now it's another loop.
Yeah. So now that you've gone from receiving, and now you're the one to
Sure.
to share and to hold the space, to bring back, to share this gift of this strength in you that you found.
Yeah, and I'm often humbled by joining the dots between that person that received it in Guatemala from the guy that I met for an hour and the me now that's sharing that similar kind of experience, and just holding those two very, very close in a way of not forgetting that person, not forgetting the way, and really trying to share as authentically as possible, and ultimately knowing that the breath is the master. And if I can facilitate that in a way that allows the people to drop as quick as possible, then it feels very alive and very amazing to share, actually. But it's definitely the start of the journey.
So how is Soma Breath? If you could tell us about your practice, because we are a biodynamic breath and trauma release. So I'm really.
So we're all about breathing and touch
and movement, and we are happy to hear about the Soma Breath.
Yeah, Soma Breath it's based on a rhythm. So there's rhythmical breathing that we do, and we go in rounds. So there's either, like, depending on how long the music is, it can be 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds. Some go even longer, but typically it's over an hour and it's about 5 rounds of rhythmical breathing. And then after the rhythmical breathing stage, there'll be a pause where we hold our out breath. And that's really where Soma starts to come into kind of its own in many ways, along with the Wim Hof method, where it was derived from, or like contributed to from that. And yeah, in that out breath, it's then a lot of the health benefits of breathwork can really be tapped into and explored, and kind of the edges can be pushed a little bit. So yeah, there's kind of like the breath retention phase, the rhythmical breathing phase, where the heart coherence can come in, and we can really start to, work with that aspect of our being. And then the visualization part as well. So a lot of like visualizing, who we want to be, how we want to be, and really focusing on that as we breathe with it. And on the inhale, we can inhale all that energy up, and really start to kind of crystallize that vision, and bring it closer to us. Really, that's the hope and the desire with the practice.
It sounds like learning how to drive the car of your life. This is like what you got from it. It's like, with your breath holds and the visualizations that you're doing. It's like, well, I'm in charge. This is what I'm going to create within my life.
I'm inviting to my life.
Yeah, and I guess with anything really, like changing the way we eat food, we can really start to bring about more awareness around what's good for our body. For me, it's the same with the breath as well. If we really nourish our body with the breath, often the mind can speak to us a bit healthier and a bit happier. So we can plant like positive affirmations and really start to sow the seeds that we want to see flower, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that yoga helped you as well yoga? Because for me, yoga and breath is very much going together. So the start of your journey was with scuba diving and yoga, and then breath, and it's like a natural flow in your journey.
Yeah, definitely in my personal journey for sure as well, and also a little bit of guidance in the sessions now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, just in a way of dropping into a session with different techniques and trying to pull from each one if I feel one is needed or wanted or could be beneficial. So I guess in that sense, it's hugely beneficial in a way of just having, my friend calls it the toolkit, having enough tools in the toolkit to really try and make the session and make the journey as beautiful as possible. So it's not it's not like a big yoga session or a big kind of dive into any particular part of yoga, but just a few little movements and a few little kind of connections to the body as well is really important, and then releasing the mind as quick as possible.
Because you also work with the body a little bit in Soma as well, do you?
Little bit, yeah. So that there's a little bit of dance, a little bit of shaking as well to try and release anything, and it's open in that way. But the actual journey itself is very much just with the breath, and if movement comes or sound comes, then that's there. But I think your guys is very much touch and kind of movement as well, right?
Yeah. We are very much into tapping into the body and tracing the not tracing, but
starting with felt sense. And with felt and using movement to help to release blockages.
What was trapped in the body. So it's less about the visualization, less about, but it's more about connecting with the body.
Yeah.
It sounds beautiful. I'd love to try it one day and just be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's anyway, we'll chat about that later. This is your time. And what is it like to facilitate and hold a space? What kind of feedback are you getting?
Yeah, and as well as if it's like one-to-one sessions or it's like rather group sessions, how it does work?
At the moment, it's mostly group, which again for the heart coherence in a group, once everyone breathes in a rhythm, that's where it's so great. Because if everyone's in a rhythm, after the first round, most people are synced up in a way where they're breathing together and they're in this heart coherence state without really knowing they're in there. And then it can really bring about more surrendering and more willingness to drop in and go deeper. So it's been a lot of group work and then a few individual sessions, which again allows me to be way more intimate and kind of connected to that person and facilitate to their needs. But yeah, it's obviously living in Cape Town. There's a lot of city life happening, so it can be. Well, my awareness goes to trying to bring them out of the city from their week or from their day or from their weekend or kids, and then trying to drop them in through a little bit of movement, a little bit of breath awareness, and then into the session that way.
So do you work only online or
rather offline?
Or
I've actually just stepped online, which is I'm probably about a year behind. But yeah, for me the joy the joy that has been the most kind of engaging part is to be really with the person as their journey.
Yes.
So the transmission over online has been somewhat of an adjustment. Although I'm trying to get over my own sense of that and serve whoever wants to be served online. And yeah, just holding it slightly differently in a way where, I'm not in the room with them, so I can't fully kind of be present with where they are, but, trying to find ways to do that. But yeah, mostly in group sessions.
Oh, good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, we love both.
Yeah.
But
there is something special when you are holding a space for a group. It's completely
which even appears in the conversations outside of the breathing session. The breathing opens something up, and which can be explored afterwards as well. Stuff appears and just that. You can't beat hugging someone. But online is also, I found it to be an amazing thing.
If we can't reach people with in person, they are on the other side of the globe, and why not use online and share the breath with the world?
Completely. I think we're so blessed these days to have, we're talking like crazy distance apart, but we're able to connect and share our stories. So it's quite incredible technology we have.
Absolutely.
And I think it's helping to make breathwork available to so many people who may not have found it otherwise. It really, I think this last year with COVID has been a real blessing to breathwork.
Especially that it directed towards the breath, because COVID is attacking the lungs and our breathwork system. So it's very important to stay connected with the breath. And yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Would you like to add something? You would like to share anything more with our viewers? Something how they can find you? Of course, we will.
Yeah, we'll put
links as well to you underneath.
If anyone wants to connect with you, if anyone's felt even just a little bit of the lovely resonance I've been feeling coming off Andy,
yeah.
If anyone feels a call in to work with them,
yeah, I guess just. If they're followers of your breathwork and they want to continue on that, then beautiful. And also, if anyone's watching that wants to try Soma breath or connect to that toolkit where different techniques can be benefited and maybe partnered in a way where it speaks to different parts of people's lives. So if that is the case, then reach out and we can have a session, or we can have a call, or just talk about Soma breath, or talk about breathwork in general. I also write a lot of blogs as well, so I like to share the writing aspect of
amazing.
My life.
So we will put it down in the description so people can click and go to your blog, because and I'm happy to read it as well.
And that's what got me to find Andy as well. After reading one of his blogs, it's like, oh yes, I feel this fella. We want to connect. Right.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful session.
Thank you so much.